Just close your eyes, relax, rest in the presence, and hold space. Welcome. For the next 10 minutes or so, I'd like to invite you as the music plays. Just close your eyes.
sky.
Welcome. Namaste.
Namaste.
Welcome to our weekly online Satsang. Satsang means literally community of truth, but basically any spiritual community is a Satsang. If there are two people or more who are on the spiritual path and they come together, there's a Satsang. And the beautiful thing about meeting together with others who are on the journey is we strengthen one another, and the light that each of us has is multiplied when we bring it together like this. And certainly this is one of the beautiful uses of the internet. We know it has not beautiful uses, but this one's great because we're able to reach out and connect across all kinds of boundaries. National, people join us from around the world, from other continents. People that would have a very hard time maybe coming together in the same place because of political and national ideologies and borders and all of that. There's no boundary here in spirit. It's one of the nice things about spirit. Spirit is boundless. It's not bound by time or space. So people who are tuning into this recording or this video a year from now or 10 years from now would feel the same energy, the same presence that we feel, because this is happening in the eternal now. Throughout the satsang, we're sharing the Flowering Heart Blessing, which is a direct transmission of divine consciousness, awakened consciousness, light, grace, unconditional love. It's a gift directly from the divine source. The divine told Susanna and me very clearly that this one comes from me. Well, all real blessings do, but he said this is not being filtered through a hierarchy or an organization or a master or a saint, or even though there are many beautiful masters and saints who are sharing blessings these days, this one, the divine wanted us very clearly to understand, does not flow through any existing spiritual tradition per se or teacher. So it truly is interfaith and is able to support you on whatever your path is. Be it theistic, pagan, atheistic, all the other istics. The Flowering Heart Blessing will support, will catalyze the process of awakening, will hasten it and ease it by dissolving blocks and removing obstacles, and take awakened beings deeper, because awakening, as I like to point out, is not a destination, but an ongoing, infinite expansion. So welcome. And if you come from another spiritual community or want a teacher, as I was mentioning, and you or your group have a blessing that you share, if it's from the divine source and its purpose is the flowering of the heart and awakening, then please feel free to share it. But everyone would be nice if everyone here would share the Flowering Heart Blessing tonight, because you can. This blessing is free, and you're soaking in it right now, and when you receive it, you're immediately activated and initiated. If you invite the divine to pour the Flowering Heart Blessing through you, the presence will do that. Whether it be through intention and meditation or prayer, or whether it's sharing it directly through physical contact, informed consent with the person in your presence. As long as you explain to them that this is from the divine and its purpose is to bring about awakening and the flowering of the heart, then please share it freely, and keep it free. Because the divine was very particular that this is a gift of grace and that no charge should be made for the blessing. Now, if you're giving courses, workshops, doing other work with people, that's fine. But the blessing itself is pure grace, and actually, we're not giving it. We're just acting as instruments or vessels of grace through whom the divine can pour this blessing to help humanity awaken. We're living in a time where we need divine help to do this as quickly as possible. What's wrong with the world is that people are living in an illusion of separate existence. that makes people feel competitive and fearful and protective, and it leads to competition, conflict, and war. In order for the world to change, we need to ascend to a higher level of consciousness than the one in which we were functioning when we created all these problems. I think Einstein said something like that. So the divine is interested in helping raise human consciousness as quickly as possible. There's so many awakened teachers and beautiful teachings and processes being offered like never before. And these blessings are a very important feature of the spiritual path unfolding on earth today. It's the spiritual journey has been thought of often as taking lifetimes or a whole life at least to awaken. But actually, through the gift of blessing, people can awaken very quickly, actually instantaneously, and share it with others. It's very contagious. Positive consciousness is much more contagious than negative consciousness. That's good news. So please share your light and share the Flowering Heart blessing, and thank you for being here tonight.
Sunday.
This Sunday is the last Sunday of the month. Every last Sunday of every month, with few exceptions, we share what we call interfaith communion with the cosmic Christ. Many people have a connection, a heart connection, with the divine indweller, with God within, with that aspect of the divine that dwells within us at the center of our spiritual hearts as our true sacred self. Mahayana Buddhism centers very much on that. Certainly mystical Christianity focuses on that. Sufism, so many of the spiritual paths that people are pursuing currently are heart-centered, which is very nice. I mean, there are different approaches to spirituality. We're very much about the heart. But all paths are valid. The nice thing about finding what you're looking for inside yourself is that no one can come up to you from the outside and say, you don't have it, I can give it to you for X thousands of dollars. Just follow me for the rest of your life, become my, and I know there are a lot of great spiritual teachers that really are helping people awaken, that's true. That said, many people become very dependent, addicted to an external source, be it an enlightened teacher or guru, through whom they're receiving light and awakening grace. Thing is, the outer world's a mirror reflecting the inner world. That light that's flowing through the guru, flowing through the master, that grace that is vibrating in certain sacred spaces and places of power, all of that is a mirror reflecting to you your own true self. And eventually, on the spiritual journey, we all look within and discover that the one we were looking for was us. That your true self, your essence, is already awakened and enlightened and quite divine, one with the divine. So the heart path, especially the Flowering Heart blessing, because it awakens the awareness of our own inner divinity and of that enlightened consciousness that's already there. So rather than seeking for something, hoping desperately that we might get it or it might fall from the sky one day, we discover that it's there already. All we need to do is go deep enough inside to find it. And once we connect with that inner spark, and that's what the Flowering Heart blessing does, it awakens that connection within, then the divine radiance in the innermost part of our being, which might be called Atma, and the divine indweller might be called the Paramatma if you're in Indian spirituality. But once the connection's made to the inner divine, it just begins to flower and unfold and radiate through all the levels of our being, transforming us. I think I was starting to talk about Sunday.
You were.
So, because of so many people involved in the heart path these days, there also is a sense of Christ consciousness. Many people have some either direct experience of Christ consciousness, or at least some sense of what that is, and feel a connection, an attraction to that, but not necessarily to the Christian religion, which is a whole different deal. I mean, the human Jesus embodied this eternal aspect of the divine, this without beginning, without end. A lot of people don't know what they feel about that human incarnation 2,000 years ago, but feel very much connected to the Christ within, which is what I was saying would be the same as the Paramatma, the inner light, goes by various names. So these communions with the cosmic Christ we do every month are an opportunity to really connect with that Christ energy in the heart. And people love it. It's a very beautiful and powerful thing. And it's interfaith because you don't need to be a Christian. You don't need to be a theist or a deist or an agnostic. You can be whatever you want to be and just come and experience it. And it's open for people to join us here at Flowering Heart Center in person, or it's live online right here on Facebook or Vimeo or LinkedIn or YouTube or whatever other places this is being streamed to, but always right here on my profile on Facebook and our account at Vimeo. So please join us this coming Sunday. The focus of our meditation is going to be on Christ the Healer. One really beautiful aspect of the heart path and the inner divine that is pure compassion and unconditional love is its inclination to bring healing to the soul, healing to the physical body of people who are suffering. I think Jesus of Nazareth was the most amazing healer I know anything about. So many people. He used physical healing as a way of demonstrating the unconditional love of the divine for humanity. So we're going to be taking a look at Christ the Healer on Sunday. I think there will be a lot of grace. And so if you feel inclined, please join us. That's 11 o'clock Eastern Time Sunday morning. Okay. What else? Give us a like or a love if you pop in tonight, so we can see at the end, if you don't enter something in the chat, we can see that you were here and send special love and blessings to you. What else?
That's it.
So now it's open to questions on preferably the spiritual journey and perhaps your own spiritual practice or what you're experiencing in your journey. Something you might like some clarity, and whenever people ask questions during these satsangs, it seems like that divine inspiration flows inevitably from the presence. So it's very catalytic, and we're all strengthened and we're all blessed when you ask your questions. So please do. I think we might have one. More. Hi, More. Let me back up and see if I missed anything here. Okay. More writes, I've noticed that people on the street realize that I speak to them from a spiritual space, and they respond in resonance. Why then do they not choose a spiritual path? Could it be that we come with a predetermined plan? I'm not a big fan of predetermination because it's like there's nothing you can do. You came in, there's a game plan, kismet, your destiny's all mapped out for you, and you might as well just kind of go to sleep in your sailboat and float downstream. When we know that destiny can be changed, that the future is not fixed. It's not engraved in stone. People say, what about the Akashic Records? It's already written there. Well, I've seen some stories about the Akashic Record where they're into the future. There are many streams it could take, depending on choices that we make and actions that we take, can change radically the direction of our future. Okay. Maybe some of these people came with a less direct intention of growing spiritually. Some people seem to be here because they want to experience life and just express themselves in the artistry of the dance, and they don't feel a lot of spiritual inclination in terms of what we would recognize as spirituality or following a spiritual path. Maybe the moment just hasn't happened where grace touches their hearts and they awaken to that hunger for a deeper relationship with Source and for a higher state of consciousness. You say that you speak to them from a spiritual space and they respond in resonance. Okay, well, maybe they are on a spiritual path, but it doesn't look like yours or mine. And we see a lot of that these days. But I think we're going to see more and more people resonating with spirituality and with spiritual growth as the painful after effects and scars of religion loosen their grip on humanity. Because spirituality is one thing, religion's another. And so many people have such a guard up against religion and the controlling influence of religious hierarchies and all the damage that has done and continues to do on earth, that you can't even talk about God with some people because, oh no, God, no, we're done with that. So once they work through those charges and that's healed in them, I think you'll see that they'll begin. All of humanity is going to blossom in awareness of divinity and connection as the golden age actually fully unfolds here. We're just in the beginning stages. Want to add to that?
Yeah. I think too, if I reflect on society and how I think we've been so programmed from birth to be very materialistic and consumeristic centered. I mean, even all of the holidays that are spiritual or religious for many people come down to buying presents, buying cards, buying flowers, buying stuffed animals, buying candy, all of this stuff that keeps us distracted from the real meaning of whatever we're celebrating. And a lot of people are just really, really distracted. I see it all day long. When I have the chance to make eye contact or really connect with somebody at a deeper level, no matter who they are, it's usually a very, very sweet connection. But some people are just so caught up in their day-to-day lives that they don't even stop to think, oh, maybe meditation would feel really good, or maybe going to a spiritual community or some kind of group that strengthens that aspect of myself. It's just kind of an afterthought, because as culturally, in many, many different parts of the world, we've gotten so far away from religion and spirituality in place of materialism and consumerism. And just keep shining your light and keep responding to people from your heart. And you never know, just that one small gesture, that smile, that kind word, could get them to think about life differently. But everybody's here, like Michael said, for different reasons, and we've all got our path, and we don't need to fix anybody else. We just need to connect as much as we can.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. We have a very close friend of ours, and he probably, I don't know that he'd hang this label around his neck, but he's probably an atheist. He's a socialist and an atheist, and he loves to, he's very intelligent. He's read a lot and had a beautiful life, and loves to argue with me about religion. why do you have to put all this in the context of divinity and religion? What's wrong with humanism? So he's a humanist, atheist.
He said he was agnostic. He believes that there is something, but he doesn't know what it is.
Well, we've discussed it enough. He does believe there's something.
Right.
There's some consciousness running through the universe. He gets that. The God of Spinoza is his deal. But anyway, what I was going to say is, he is far more conscious and giving and loving, and I would say spiritual, than most of my religious friends.
He thinks very deeply about things.
I can see the presence working in him. He shines. He radiates love. Well, what is that? You say, well, it isn't about my religious faith.
And just being human.
Exactly. That's right. And to be truly human would be to realize that we are divine beings who have strangely come to this planet and incarnated in animal bodies, that have the potential to become transformed bodies of the highest degree. Scripture refers to an order of angels as Elohim. In the book of Genesis, they're the ones that created humanity. Genesis 1, Elohim created humanity in their own image and likeness. And then it refers to humanity throughout the biblical scriptures. Humanity is referred to repeatedly as being the Elohim. But I think we've forgotten that.
Yeah.
Most of us.
And with forgetting that comes losing our essential power that we have. I mean, we're incredibly powerful beings, and we've kind of been dumbed down to believe that we've got to follow this work schedule, we've got to follow that schedule, we have to do this and do this and this, and when we let go and let the divine take over our lives, those things just kind of fall into place, and we see life from a totally different way. That I don't have to do that. I don't have to do things that way. I can do it another way. And connecting to that, we get empowered. And there are so many things that we're able to do that we've been told we can't do, that as we awaken, we start to discover more and more of that.
Yep. And as our physical bodies are transformed, that's going to be amazing. And we've gotten some glimpses through some of the great masters who became highly awakened. Different traditions have even called them immortal. But I think, and I've studied the lives of a lot of them. It's fascinating what happens when enough divine light penetrates and transforms a human body. But just look at the well-known example of Jesus of Nazareth, what that guy was able to do, and then resurrecting and ascending. Don't get mad at me if you think he never existed. I'm pretty sure he did, but there have been others as well who demonstrated a great transcendence over the physical limitations of being in an animal-like body. We're so much more. And it's great to be on this journey together. It's a pretty freaky time on Earth right now. I get that. But we're getting more than glimmers of what's ahead. I wonder what a caterpillar feels like, when it's crawling out to the end of its last branch. And he goes, I just can't go on any further. Spins a cocoon around himself and just kind of
melts.
Only to come forth as this amazing transformed being. So we're kind of humanity's kind of in that stage. We're still crawling. And a lot of us are still in that cocoon trying to claw our way out, but there are good things ahead. So, Mark Klauser, yes, namaste, Mark. And he says, my confirmation name is John Mark. And I'm really glad when someone occasionally calls me that. Well, John Mark, blessings to you, my brother. So nice to have you with us. Do we have any more questions?
Check the mail.
out there. We'll wait a couple minutes. If you have any questions. It's okay if you don't. Sometimes you get in the presence and it's just like the mind just kind of goes, and all the questions evaporate. And then people tell me, I wish I had asked you then, but the question just dissolved and went away. Okay, it's not too late. I've been thinking about doing another book club.
Oh.
And it's a very different, much simpler format than the last one we did. And I'm thinking that we've mentioned it, but maybe using this little book that was written by Paramahansa Yogananda, quite simply entitled, and it's just a little booklet, and you could read it in an afternoon. And it's how you can talk to God. I think that's one of the most elusive parts of the spiritual journey for many people I've known over the years, is actually knowing how to talk to the divine presence and know, number one, that you're being heard, and knowing that you're going to get an answer. And knowing how to receive that answer, how to talk to God. It actually, as strange as that sounds to some, it's more than possible. It is totally possible, and I think it's part of the journey that many people are in a place of being ready to cultivate that. So we'll see. Well, if you go to our website, all the directions and all the contact information, Mark, is there at floweringheart.org.
What's the question?
But where is Flowering Heart in Clearwater? It's right in the heart of Clearwater, but it's at 300 Feather Tree Drive. 3 words, well, 2 words. Feather Tree Drive, and that's in Clearwater, zip code 33765. And of course, it would be lovely to see you if you're ever in the neighborhood. Joanne writes, I'm hoping not to dismiss...
She wrote something up above, too.
Oh, okay. Hang on. I missed that. Thank you. So Joanne writes, I find myself disappointed in a spiritual teacher that I know, seeing their human side. I'm hoping not to dismiss the beneficial teachings and let go of my observations of petty behavior. Yeah, this is, I understand. I've been around a lot of spiritual teachers, and I've been around a number of spiritual teachers who are considered to be enlightened and fully awakened, enlightened beings. And they have remarkable insights, remarkable teachings often. Being in their presence is just, it's catalytic. You can just feel the energy and the presence, and it's like waking you up on an atomic level, just being around them. And then, if you get close enough or you hang around long enough, you discover, wow.
They're human.
They're human. Now, the definition often of enlightenment is the complete dissolution of ego, the complete undoing of the psychological self and blowing out the candle of ego permanently and forever, so that in a fully God-realized being, there should be, ideally, according to the definitions, nobody home but the divine itself. And so there certainly have been any number of saints like that who became completely clear of self, and all that was there is divine light shining through them. But there are a bunch of others that are in a very high state who still seem to manifest ego. That used to bother me, and I got to the point where I said, I don't believe that there are any masters I've ever met that didn't have ego. Because I would see them get hurt. I would see them get offended, see them get angry, see them manifest human qualities, limited qualities of having a short temper, being critical of somebody else or another spiritual teacher, and then the worst stuff of having loose boundaries with their students in sexual areas, or trying to exercise too much control over their students. There's been a lot of that that I've witnessed since the 1960s, and having studied it for some years, that phenomena of very gifted spiritual teachers having a dark side also goes way back. And the thing is that a lot of students will lose their faith if they see that the teacher has an ego. That's because I think as spiritual teachers we may have done our students a disservice by trying to appear in a more purified state than we actually are. So that, for instance, if you're the leader of a spiritual community and people are looking to you as an awakened being that brings light and teaching, you have, so maybe you go home at night and you argue with your partner. So what a lot of spiritual teachers do is they hide their human side. And they hold people at arm's length. They don't let them get close enough. Part of it is ego, because they don't want to be exposed. And they're up on a pedestal, and that would kind of pull them down. But also, they know that it might hurt the faith of the disciple or the student. So it's a real catch-22 sometimes for a spiritual leader. But I think, having witnessed this over the years, we would do a much greater service to our students, our followers, if we were clear that sometimes we're not clear. That maybe we still are being healed emotionally ourselves. I remember a great spiritual teacher in India that some of us have spent a lot of time around. He talked to us about the Buddha. Now the Buddha was the one, who's recognized as the super mega enlightened one in history. And yet, this teacher in India was sharing with us that in his old age, Buddha was a grumpy old man. And he had a hard time walking. He was semi-crippled a little bit, and his disciples would reach out and try to support him. He's like, leave me alone. I don't need your help. And we were like, why did he act that way? He said, because some of the wounds he carried from his relationship with his parents were not completely healed. That's what this teacher said. So you could be fully enlightened and still have areas of the soul that need healing and restructuring. It's very perplexing until you get it. But there are people in non-dual states of consciousness, which we would consider highly awakened, who don't have good sexual morals, who are prejudiced toward women, who are prejudiced toward people of other nationalities or other religions. And it's so disappointing to see that. But please don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. If you've gotten something good out of their teaching,
Yeah. The other thing, too, that we need to look at is if we're being disappointed or worried that we're going to be disappointed about somebody or something, we need to look within and see if we were having expectations or judgment or criticism, and that usually stems from something inside of us, our own insecurities about not being good enough, about not being worthy, about not, you know.
I know, isn't that funny? Yeah. I had a couple of those tonight.
But kind of the gist of it is we need to look within and see where we're being too hard on ourselves and too critical. Another note on that too is I always loved going to workshops where the teacher would say, take what fits for you, take what works for you, and just leave the rest at the door. You know, just because a spiritual teacher or leader says something doesn't mean that that's right with us. It doesn't resonate with our hearts. And I'm doing that these days now with everything. Anytime I hear some news, or if I hear some facts or some statistics or whatever, I go within my heart and ask, you know, is this right for me? Is this right for what I believe in life? And so that's something to look at. If I'm feeling disappointed by somebody, I need to look at where I'm being disappointed myself and giving my power away. Because if we're expecting another teacher or a spiritual leader to help us on our path, we have to own some responsibility for the work that we need to do as well, instead of just following blindly whatever they're saying.
Well said.
So take what you want from that and leave it at the door. That doesn't work for you.
Or as one of my mentors, an old Christian healer saint from Texas, taught me years ago, have the sense of an old cow. Eat the straw and leave the sticks. Okay, so John Lewis says...
Wait, did you read the second part?
Well, okay.
I'm hoping to not dismiss.
I already read that.
Okay.
Then can I go to the next?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so John Lewis writes, I decided never to put anyone on a pedestal. Yes, we are all human. Even when Christ was referred to as my good man by his uncle, he told him only the Father in heaven is good. Yes, he did. Somebody referred to Jesus as good teacher. And he said, why do you call me good? Only God is good. But there was a little twist in what he was actually saying to that man I want to throw out there. He was saying, you're looking at me, I'm a human being, and you're saying you're good. You are seeing goodness in me, and the goodness you're seeing in me is God. If you've seen me, you've seen the Father. Jesus was really interesting in that way. Oh, you say I'm just a human being, but you say I'm good? Well, only God is good, so what are you actually seeing in me? So he was an interesting one because of the full union of human nature and divine nature in him from the beginning of his human journey. Quite remarkable. But generally, if you're in a human body, I think there's the possibility, definitely, of imperfection. Now, I'm not going to throw that at Christ, because I think he did an amazing thing. But a teacher from India asked me one day, came to me in a vision and was asking me to do something. He said, don't you trust me? And this person was supposed to be a great, enlightened, divine being. He said, don't you trust me, Michael? And I said, are you in a human body? Well, yes. Well, then 90%. 90%. That body is problematic until it's fully divinized. Just saying. So More wrote, you are a so beautiful and complementary couple. Oh, thanks. Well, I think we're just such a beautiful and complementary satsang community.
Yeah, definitely.
This happens because people like you are here, and Joanne and John and all the rest of them, and Jean-Marc. Yeah. Okay.
All right, let's dive deeper.
All right, so if you would, close your eyes and open your heart and invite the presence who dwells within you, the universe that dwells within you, to fill you with grace. invite, welcome the divine presence within you to flood you with light, with awakening, transforming grace. You are not a body with a mind. You are a divine spirit being. And the presence within you yearns to awaken you to the truth of your essence, to enlighten, to awaken you, and cause your heart to begin to flower. Take a few moments and connect with the presence within you. And ask for whatever it is you seek. Freedom from pain and suffering. Some other need in your life or the lives of your loved ones. The desire to become awakened, to be freed from the illusion of separate existence, to awaken to oneness with the presence and with all that exists. If you wish for that, ask. And just begin to receive, because there's nothing you can do to awaken yourself. You can cooperate, you can work toward it, but it is a gift of grace. So receive the Flowering Heart blessing that is pouring out within you and to you from all around. Presence knows exactly what you need and how to get it to you. So just drink in the grace. You don't need to beg. There's nothing you need to do but just receive. soul or in your body, the divine, it is the will of the divine to heal you. The divine will heal you if you can allow yourself to receive it. Imagine we're sitting in a circle together with our eyes closed. Lift up your palms. Open your palms facing forward and invite the divine presence to pour the flowering heart lesson through you to all the others seated with you in the circle, knowing that it's flowing, the presence is flowing through them to you as well. Whenever you're ready, you can just relax and lay your palms on your legs, your thighs, or your knees somewhere, and open your eyes. Begin to make direct eye contact with Suzanne and or me as we begin the light meditation. The divine floods us with grace and pours oceans of love and light and grace through us to you. It flows through every pore of our being, especially through our eyes. That's why the eyes have been called the doorways of the soul. So just keep making eye contact with at least one of us. And the light will stream in through your eyes, into your heart, causing the flames of divine love and light and awakening to burn brighter and brighter. Now keep meditating as long as it feels right to you. You could also go and lie in Savasana. Find a place nearby to lie on your back with your eyes closed, your arms loosely at your sides, with your palms open, turned upward, and just let yourself dissolve in gratitude in the presence. We love you very much.
Much love, light, and blessings until we meet again.
Until then, the divine in us beholds the light of the divine in you, and we bow.